How do you calculate the sum of a column in Notion? In this database, we have got sales people listed out in different rows, and for each of the person, we have got sales amount in the adjacent column. So for Harry, we have got $2,100. For Eric, it is $3,400. For Peter, it is $5,400. Now I want to see the sum of all these amounts, 10,900, in an adjacent column. How do we do that? So first of all, we will create a database over here. So I'll type in /, then I'll put database. It will create a new database. I will name this database to, let's say, total sales. And let me delete the other two rows. So I will just put the name over here as total sales. Now what I'll do is I will create a relationship between this first database and the second database. So in order to do that, let me first delete this row which is added, this column which is added by default. So let me delete this. I'll click on plus, I'll hit relation, and then I will select the sales, or maybe let's do it from the other way around. I'll click on plus over here, I'll click on relation, and then I will select total sales. So once I do this, it will ask me to create a relationship where I can enter the details of the columns in both the database. So in this database, I want it to represent as total sales, while in the total sales database, I want to represent it as sales details. Once I do this, you can see that a new column has been added in both the database. In the first database, we have the total sales column. In the second database, we have the sales details column. So now, in the first database, I'm going to click over here and I'll select total sales, which is written over here. So I'll just click on this and I'll copy it down to all the salespeople data. Once I do this, you can see that it is automatically feeding in all the salespeople information over here. Now what I can do is I can hit this plus button over here. I can select the rollup property. From rollup, I will select the relationship that we just established, so it is sales detail, and then I will roll up the sales value. So what this does is essentially we are trying to get the information of the sales from the first database onto the second database using a relationship and rollup. So over here in this line item, we have all the salespeople, and I'm trying to roll up all the sales amounts of each of the individual salespeople. So I click on this, and it is showing original values, so it is showing the values individually. Now I want to sum all these values. So I'll click on this, I will click on this calculate, and I'll select the option of sum. Once I do this, it is summing up all the values of sales over here. I will name this as, let's say, total sales rollup. Okay, so we have got a total sales value over here. Now what I want is I want to get this number on the first database. So what I'll do is I'll again click on plus. I will use rollup over here. Now in this scenario, I will roll up the value of the total sales that we have over here onto this database. So I'll select this. I will select the total sales as a relationship, and I will try to select this total sales value which I have created. But you can see that it is not getting visible. So what is happening is whenever you are trying to roll up an amount in another database, which is in the form of a number, you cannot roll up that rollup value onto the first database. First, you need to convert this rollup value into a formula. So what I'll do is I'll create another property over here. I'll just name it total sales, and I'll change this type to formula. And over here, I will link it to total sales rollup. So what this does is it just simply takes this rollup value and puts it in a formula property. And I'll change this to dollars. So let's say I'll change it to dollars. You can select your own currency or do any sort of modification, customization you want to have. And now I will try to choose the roller property from here. So what I'll do is I'll click on this property and I'll select total sales. As soon as I do this, you can see again I can change it to sum. As soon as I do this, you can see that we are now getting the total sales value which we had in the second database derived from the first database onto the first database. So I'll just put this name, sales, in bracket I can put total. So now we have the sales value over here. So if you see anything that you change over here, it will automatically get updated in the total sales value because it is computing from these three values that we have put in the second database. So what I can do is I can create a percentage calculation. So sales in percentage, and here I can calculate how much of each of the individual sales is total sales. So what I'll do is I'll simply divide the sales with the sales total that we have calculated, and I'll hit enter, or I can click on done. Once this is done, you can see it is giving a value in kind of a percentage, but there are a lot of decimals over here. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll change the decimal to, let's say, 2 decimal places. So I'll put round, I'll multiply 100, and once I close this bracket, I will again divide by 100. So we have put the curly brackets inside that we have done all the calculations, and then I have divided by 100. So you can see it is now coming into decimals. Then I will again click over here, click on edit property, and I'll change this number format to percentage. Once I do this, now you get a nice neat percentage presentation over here, and you can even customize this further. So I'll click on edit property and I'll select a bar over here. So now it gives a nice bar presentation over here, which represents each of the individual sales to the total sales. So as you change the sales value over here to any of the values, everything automatically will update. So I'm just quickly changing some values to show you the demonstration. So whatever you change, everything gets updated in total sales and also in the percentage value as well. So this is how you can calculate the sum of a column in Notion for each of the individual values, and you can utilize these to do a lot of calculations. So you can stay connected to this channel. I'll be bringing a lot of useful videos like this, and I'll also be creating end-to-end dashboards of how you can use Notion to create proper dashboards for your business and individual use cases. Thank you and stay connected.